everyone, this episode is brought to you by Preschool All-Stars, my exclusive membership community. As a member of Preschool All-Stars, you can unlock free access to Preschool University. Here's a sample for you to enjoy. Today we're going to learn about the private kinder system, how to start your own private kindergarten program. So of course, now how do you actually create an amazing kindergarten year, right? That's the big question. Let me explain really quickly how our kindergarten day was scheduled as far as it really went from 8:30 to 11:15. So that was 2 hours, 45 minutes. It doesn't need to be longer than that, guys. It's not playtime for the kids. It's literally every moment that we had with them was structured, focused. That's kindergarten for you. I would not recommend it goes any longer, and I wouldn't recommend it goes any shorter. We needed every minute that we had with them. So 8:30 to 11:15 was perfect. Here's why. 8:30, I know parents are sometimes like, oh, that's a little bit early. Yeah, it is. But guess what? Public is 8 o'clock, so deal with it. And so 8:30 was even better than that. But the kids are ready to learn. It's their peak time to be able to learn. And so I just say, get them when they're at their peak time. There's no reason we need to be hitting them after lunch. Do we do all day? No. Do we do morning and or afternoon kindergarten? No. We didn't have enough openings for that. If we had enough demand, sure, we would have done a morning program. We would have done an afternoon program. We would never have let a child go to both programs, though. It's just literally their own entity. So just one program is all we did. A couple things, fun things that we did. And of course, we'll talk curriculum in the next module, okay, of how you actually structure your kindergarten class. But let's talk about more of the activities and just the parent side of it, okay? All the fun stuff on top of curriculum. Let's talk about that. Something fun in kindergarten is Book It. This is the Pizza Hut program that you guys probably knew from way back in the day. And Book It's just awesome because they actually will send you coupons for their pizza program at Pizza Hut. And then what you do is you just have the parents, there's little printables that you can print out. You send them home every month with your kiddos, and then the parents fill out all the times that they were reading or reading to their child and bring them back, and the kid gets a little pan pizza I remember this, this is a thing from me. And so it's just super fun. Another thing that you can add that, yeah, public schools do, but guess what? You can do it too. It's free, okay? I don't know that you can actually do box tops. Box tops, I believe I remember looking into it a long time ago, hey, because our parents were like, you should do box tops. We have a zillion we would give to you. And I'm like, I don't know, let me check into it. And for some reason, it didn't work out with our school. I don't know if it was a number of students or what. I don't really remember what the thing was. So check into box tops. That might work if you have maybe a big school or something. As far as, so you had Book It, which was great, but then also Scholastic. I love Scholastic book orders, guys. Do you remember those from the days? Having them in your kindergarten program is super helpful because it's a school thing, right? Fun for preschool. We do them in preschool too, but 100% do them in kindergarten. And then we just always we literally get the actual book orders. I know you can go online and have it all online, and you never actually give out physical book orders, but there's something tangible about having the book orders in their hands. You can give them a couple. There can usually be a kindergarten and maybe another one. There's a couple different ones you can give them. It's all free. And then what you do is hand them out to the parents. I usually did it once a month. And so you hand them out to the parents and then they go home. But here's the kicker. Here's where it goes glorious. They don't give you cash or they don't give you a check. They go online and they buy everything online. Okay, that takes you out of the picture. You just had to give it to them. But then they go online. Now here's why it's so great about them going online. Online, there's everything. It's not just for kindergarten. Granted, they probably have a baby at home. They probably have a 3-year-old. They probably have an 8-year-old, okay? So they have the whole gamut. And if they can order from you, awesome. Because they know that immediately all those bonus points are going straight into your classroom. Something about our school is when you have a school, when you have preschool, kindergarten, anything, when you have multiple classes going on, even if you have multiple teachers, guys, you can use one account with Scholastic, okay? What does that mean? It means you get a ton of bonus points. You start getting all your bonus points and then bonus points on bonus points because you have you hit the thresholds of how much dollars of orders or whatever. So they just start dumping a ton of bonus points into your account. We were able to get so much stuff. We got couches, kid couches. We got fridges. We were able to get tons of manipulatives and curriculum. Books galore, books to the ends of days. We actually gave a free book to all of our students at the Christmas party with Santa Claus. So Santa had a little Santa's workshop, and then
from our book orders, we were able to get so many book bonus points that we were able to get a free book for every student. Usually you can find, just so you know, usually you can find a book for about 35 to 50 points. That is perfect. That's about the equivalent of $1 per book. Now you're not paying it, but just so you know that you can find books that cheap with bonus points. And that was like probably 100 books, 100, 200 books we were able to give to all the siblings and out to all the families, which was super cool at Christmas time. So not only free books, right? Creating your classroom library is huge. If you have teachers, they're gonna love the opportunity to actually get books themselves for their classroom. So what I would always do is I was the one handling all the book orders. They didn't do anything with it, okay? I don't believe that's a teacher responsibility. Like if I'm the one choosing how the points are gonna be spent, I'm fine to be the one that gives out the book orders and puts, as soon as the box comes to me, I will say, hey, here's Jimmy's orders, here's Sally's orders, whatever. But anyways, and then what I do though is for my teachers, I give them the book orders and I'm like, hey, here's your stack of 3 or 4, however many there are for that month. And then I'm like, every teacher has, $20 to $30 to spend. So have fun. And they just circle whatever they want. And then I just go online and get it for them, free bonus points, okay? So much cool stuff. So if you're not doing Scholastic, you definitely have to do it. And then here's the tricker though, here's a tricky thing. Sometimes if you try to say like, oh, if you got like a teacher from a different area and she came to you, like let's say she was an elementary school teacher and now she's your teacher at your preschool. She may have an account with Scholastic and then parents may somehow like find her on Scholastic because they're searching for that teacher's name and then it gets connected to her order but it never gets submitted because you're the one over here submitting to the school. Some parent would be like, wait a second, where's my order, right? And you just say, oh, wait. And then you'd track it down, whatever. They just have to reorder underneath your thing. They never got charged, but it was just kind of sitting out in the online, black hole over there. And then it just gets connected back to your school. So it's really cool because it just gets connected always to your, I would just always do it under the director's name. Okay, that's the easiest way. Don't have any teachers involved. Just director's name is how they find you. And there's a little class code that you give everybody so they can find you online. And then they can order all their books for their olders, their youngers, and you guys get a ton of bonus points. So you can tell I love Scholastic. Kindergarten is huge with parent involvement, like volunteers. So if you guys were experiencing some volunteers in preschool, you're going to have tons of volunteers in kindergarten. Because what you have here with kindergarten is usually they're like, think about elementary, right? If you have kids, you've probably had an opportunity to go volunteer in that classroom. Same thing with kindergarten, but when you normally volunteer in kindergarten, you're volunteering in a center, okay? Sometimes like similar to elementary school. The teacher has so many centers going on, it would be really awesome if there was another adult there running one center. The center that we always preferred to have a parent volunteer at was our math center. Bar none. Our teacher preferred to be at the reading center. Reading, writing, that was her jam because honestly, that's one of the things that you really need to know what you're doing to help that child. Math is pretty self-explanatory. You can put a math game there, and a parent can pretty much figure out it's kindergarten, right? And they know how to interact with the kids and things like that. So I would always put my volunteers at the math center. Occasionally, if you have something else going crazy on, awesome, put them somewhere else. But volunteers and our kindergarten teacher with only 18 parents and sometimes even a few less, she was able to get a volunteer at that center almost every day. Do you know how amazing that is? For a good chunk of time, I don't even remember how long centers was, probably a good 45 to 60 minutes. She had a parent volunteer, a second parent in the classroom during that entire time. That was awesome. Centers was right before it was time to go home anyways. So when the parent volunteer was done, awesome. Kiddo packed up their stuff and out they went because it was time for school to be over. And which was really helpful to that volunteer that they weren't having to they came for 30 minutes and then they had to go home and then come back to pick up their kids. So do keep that in mind. But yeah, so volunteers are awesome. And then also parties are a lot bigger at kindergarten. I will say that, okay? Usually with preschool, you find your holiday parties, it's mostly just in class with the students and the teacher, sometimes one parent volunteer. You have to think about your space too, right? Like how many parents can you actually get into the classroom? Preschool is a little bit different where I usually only recommend like one parent volunteer, period. But kindergarten's totally different. These parents love to get involved, and especially the private kindergarten. And so when you have parties, you kind of want to make them a big deal. But again, have the parents help you out. You're not creating the costumes or the food or whatever it is. You're asking for their involvement. One of my favorite places you can do signups at is signupgenius.com. It's super easy, it's free. You can put together just a quick sign up. Let me tell you about a couple of the parties that they did in class to give you ideas on how you could do it for your private kindergarten. One of them, of course, was Halloween. Now, I kind of talked about status with different classes, you know, preschool and kindergarten. They're a little bit different. Kinder gets a little special love because they're kindergarten. And so what we would do for kindergarten is no one else could wear costumes for Halloween except for kindergarten. And so we could all do costumes at the trunk or treat or the carnival, but in class, no costumes in preschool, but yes, on that last day before Halloween or Halloween itself, depending on like where it fell on the calendar, yes, they could wear a costume for kindergarten, which made them just feel super cool. So that was fun. A note about costumes though, don't have them change in school. Like, no thank you. Just come in your costume, make it sure that it can get through the day, right? Like it's not gonna, you're not super scared if it gets a stain on it or some kind of like food or whatever, okay? Do watch out for that, but let them know. And that it can make it through even like an experience outside at recess, right? So don't come in your little ballerina costume because you're gonna be freezing at October, yeah? So do let them know they'll literally be wearing the costume from the start to the finish, okay? But yeah, so they come in for that, and of course you got your parent volunteers. And during centers, you're not doing normal centers. Your centers are all, they could even be fun, they could even be learning, but they're all super exciting, like holiday, Halloweenish fun activities, right? So if you're going to be doing letters and stuff, maybe you have worms, which would be your noodles that you've already pre-cooked, and they're so slimy and gross, right? But you got to pick out your letters, and then you got to make a word or something. Or over here, you could have a bunch of, I don't even know, like there's a bunch of games. Go Google a bunch of ideas. But anyways, still have learning centers, but make them all Halloween themed. And then you could have a parent at every center. And then everybody rotates through, which is really fun. So that's like a Halloween activity. What about Christmas? Christmas is pretty cool. I skipped a big one. Thanksgiving. For Thanksgiving, we go pretty much all out. We have our parents do costumes. They're not like real costumes. They're mostly like the paper bag style costumes. I think you guys have seen that. Whenever you guys have, back in elementary days, you did your vests for, if you were Indians, right? And you get to color and draw on your vests and everything. And so we do those kind of things. So somebody brings in all the vests cut out, already ready, and then we're coloring them. But we kind of divide the classroom actually up into pilgrims or Indians. Do you want to be a pilgrim or an Indian? And then we came together for the big feast, of course. And then for that, we're all having the parents bring a favorite food. Now in preschool, it's a little bit different. In preschool, we let them bring whatever they want. Mac and cheese for days, right? Like almost everybody brings mac and cheese or hot dogs, which is a really interesting combination. But in Thanksgiving time for kindergarten, we're going to old school. We're going traditional. And so we do put out on Sign Up Genius, okay, here's the traditional foods we would have had. Because we've been studying about the Pilgrims and the Indians and Thanksgiving. We wanted to keep it more like in learning style. So here's all the foods that we've had. Which ones would you guys actually like to bring? And so that's how we do it more in kindergarten. And then we do it crazy. Like we have like all the tablecloths, and we have all the nice, like all the plates and the cups and everything matches. It's super oriented, it's super decorated like Thanksgiving. Parents can help out with all of this though. This is not on you, right? This is not what you're creating. The parents do all of this. And then, so that's Thanksgiving feast. Christmas, we just go party with Santa, right? We probably could do an indoor or an interior type of gift giving, but we usually don't do that much. We usually just have a fun Christmas party with activities. Same concept. And then, of course, Easter and Valentine's and all that good stuff. So just think about how you can make your kindergartners feel extra special and a little bit different than your preschoolers for your events. As far as field trips go, field trips are pretty fun, and you can actually do some different ones with your kindergartners that you can't do for free with your preschoolers. Did you know that if you call Domino's, they will actually allow your kindergartners to do a free field trip with them? It's super fun. I think you could probably do it with your preschoolers, but we always had so many preschoolers, there's no way they could accommodate us, right? We couldn't do, 12 different field trips with all of our preschoolers, but we could do one field trip with our kindergarten class. And so again, it kind of made them feel special, different. They never got to do that in the preschoolers or in the preschool. And everybody got to have their little aprons on, and they put on these little hats, and they'd go through and they'd make their pizza with their buddy, which was really fun. And then they get to eat pizza afterward with their buddy. So Domino's is a really fun one. Also, we would take them to really cool places that cost a little bit more because we try to make them feel special. So
Oh my goodness, wasn't that amazing? Now, sorry we had to cut that off early, but I hope you've enjoyed this sample training. Now, if you'd like to unlock the rest for free inside Preschool University, then I invite you to join Preschool All-Stars. It's my exclusive membership community where you'll get mentorship from me with weekly Q&A lives, support and guidance and friendship from hundreds of women on the exact same journey as you, starting, running, and growing their preschools, and my exclusive access to Preschool University, every training and done-for-you file that you'll need for every milestone on your journey to help you start, run, and grow your preschool. We've all been there, and we've got the exact same steps that you need to go through, but we do it all very quickly so that you don't have to waste time or money doing the wrong things at the wrong time. We'd love for you to join our Preschool All-Stars membership. Just go to preschoolallstars.com or click the link in the description to immediately jump into Preschool All-Stars. Again, go to preschoolallstars.com and we'll see you there.